so many advantageous things about it. Number one, there is a minimum wage that is at least $15. So there's that. That's set in stone. There's also, the fact that if you get laid off, you get another job. There is no, applying to places for 8 hours a day, trying to get something 6 months later, still having no luck. They're for people getting out of prison, they're able to, get jobs expeditiously because they don't have to worry about checking the box and not getting hired. Um, Homeless people can get a job. Literally anyone who wants a job can get one. So you're talking unemployment numbers just being eviscerated. You're talking about people adding more money to the economy. You're talking about the only feasible way to actually get a Green New Deal passed. How can we possibly, in 11 years, how can we possibly get the Green New Deal, get wind and solar and, all these energy things changed in order to combat climate change if we don't have a federal job guarantee? It's not possible. It's not. We need millions of people to work on infrastructure and windmills and solar panels, things like this. We need that. That is the only thing that will help us, period. As far as Medicare for all, for me, as someone with medical needs, there is only one person I trust, period, with my medical needs, and that's Bernie Sanders. And reason being, you know, he's been fighting for Medicare for all for literally 30 years. And he brought it to the forefront in 2016. He brought it to people's households. He brought it to, the debate stage. And would any of these candidates even say those words, Medicare for all, if it was not introduced on the stage by Bernie in 2016? Not a chance. Not a chance in hell. These people didn't even talk about it in 2018 when they ran for, re-election of Senate or what have you. So yeah, it's not a chance. Also, he's the one who's actually written the legislation for it. Things like that. So he's the one who drives people to Canada to get their prescriptions. He's the one who meets with cancer patients and things like that to get their stories, meets with people in healthcare and nurses. He was endorsed by National Nurses United, who has thousands and thousands and thousands of members in their union who endorsed him to the point that they literally had an entire building, their entire hospital on top had a Bernie mural. So when the helicopters would fly in patients, you could look down and see Bernie on their rooftop. It's really incredible. Our top two donors are healthcare and teachers. That's impressive because that shows that they know who to trust. There's one of the things that I stress a lot is when Bernie was promoting these things in 2015 and 2016, there was an opportunity for these candidates, for reps, for anyone. You had the opportunity to endorse either the person who is promoting these ideas and has stood for these ideas for decades, or the person who called them all ponies and pie in the sky. Those are your choices. If you are now talking about these same exact things and copying that platform, I want to know what gave you your epiphany. I want to know why you couldn't back those policies 3 years ago, and you chose to endorse someone who made fun of those ideas. And now we're supposed to believe all of a sudden you're all on board? No. Come out and tell me why you all of a sudden changed your mind, things like that. Not going to happen. Also, Bernie never wavers on anything at all. He never says, well, Medicare for all is the ultimate goal. No. Medicare for all, period. People like Elizabeth Warren, Kamala Harris, they walk it back. Sometimes, well, we can, expand Obamacare. Sometimes it's a pathway. Sometimes it's access to. No. I want someone who speaks with conviction. I want someone who has a backbone. I want someone who is not going to waver in their principles. It's pretty crazy to watch these people try and copy him and people actually falling for it. That's the most depressing part. Like, we went through this 3 years ago and we could see through people so easily. It wasn't even a challenge, but now people are being duped. Oh, Elizabeth Warren and Bernie are so similar. No, they're not. Not even close. I wouldn't trust her for anything at all. And there's a million reasons why. She's also coming out with these bills. I have a plan for everything. She has a bill that, she talks about this wealth tax that Bernie's been talking about for 40 years. And it actually doesn't start taxing anyone, any millionaires, until we, no, I don't, Rob, stop. I need a shower. Rob said that I want to give Warren a hug. No, I don't. If I do, I'll barf on her when I do. That'd be pretty awesome. Yes, accessibility. So you distracted me, damn it. Oh, so Elizabeth Warren says, she has this wealth tax. It's going to put so much money in the economy, all these things. Well, in actuality, what happens is her bill states that it doesn't kick in until people make at least $50 million. Well, research showed me that the majority of millionaires do have under $50 million. So no, you're not taxing the wealthy. No, you're not. You're taxing people who are more wealthy. If you want to tax the wealthy, let's kind of start it at 2 million, 1 million, 5 million, 50 million. You think that that's some kind of thing to be praised for? Come on now. No. So, and then she comes out with this housing bill, which states that she wants, she guarantees that rent will go down 10% within the next 10 years. That's actually insulting. Actually insulting. You are telling people whose rent goes up $200 every 2 years that 10% is going to come off during the 10-year period. That's disgusting, and it shows her privilege so well. How is that even feasible? Because every single person is charged a different amount for rent. So when you say I'll take 10% off, you're essentially saying I'm going to call every single landlord and make sure they take 10% off. How? We need to put a cap on rents. We need to say that, guess what? This house over here is paying $700, and this one up the street that happens to be in a different zip code is paying $1,100. No, they need to meet. These things can be done, but she's looking at the little things to make it seem like she's doing something. That bill also said she wanted to create millions of new homes. There are millions of new homes, but people can't afford to buy them. Adding more homes does nothing. It just creates more space with more homes that people cannot afford. So she has these plans for things, but they're not actually good, and they're horrible alternatives to what Bernie is offering. Um, you know, they like these slogans. Liz has a plan for that. Liz, oh cool, read the headline. That's awesome. No, if you read that shit and you think that's good stuff, I'm sorry, you're not a progressive. You don't really want to help people. Um, she is a neoliberal, but at the same time, I think she's actually Republican light. I think she goes beyond neoliberal. Her war hawkishness terrifies me. Um, I think her, Buttigieg, and Biden are the scariest as far as wars and stuff. They just absolutely terrify me. Warren is so in love with Israel and has disrespected Palestinians so many times. Um, and what's up with this green imperialism shit? Like, she's not talking about ending wars. She's never said the words, let's end wars, let's vote against wars. She has said, let's make it more green. So when we're talking about being scared about climate change and things like that, you're focusing on making greener bombs and greener drone strikes and things like this. This is insane. This is actually, to even think about that, like, do you think the people you're bombing are going to be happier because they're, they're being attacked by more green devices? It's gross. That is so gross. Okay, Sean, so here's the thing, and I'm kind of torn on this. Sean said he wishes Bernie wasn't friends with her. I don't know that they are, to be honest with you. They might be, but sometimes it really comes across as like, you know how annoying and frustrating it is when he's like, Joe Biden's my friend, but blah, blah, blah. Like, dude, stop. Don't. No, he's not. Shut up. Like, I want to shake Bernie's shoulders with that shit. Maybe with Liz, it's the same. I don't know. But the thing I will tell you is that one of Bernie's family members specifically told me he is loyal to a fault. If anyone was ever on his side and ever stood by him for anything and ever worked for him, he's loyal. And I could see that as well. I could see that because I see him like talking about, working with Cory Booker and stuff like that. And I'm like, ew, Bernie. But at the same time, it goes with that. He's worked on him with legislation that actually was good. So he still kind of feels that loyalty to him. And you're right, he is friends with everyone, Steve, and that's kind of a problem. I want him to be, he should like put, people who have done him dirty on his enemy list, not just people who are like billionaires. Like, actually put like, Warren, you're a hypocrite and you never endorsed me, even though thousands of my supporters, sent you thousands and thousands of letters and emails and phone calls, like essentially begging you to, and you ignored us, and we could have won mass and all this stuff. That's what he should say. But he's too classy, so we'll do it for him. As far as Kamala, going back to her, one of my my issues with her is her, Booker, and Warren all voted for the $717 billion war budget that Trump asked for. Let's actually, like, they actually gave him more than what he was asking for, what Trump was asking for. Bernie voted against it all 3 times. Why are we giving them essentially a blank check to do more harm with bombs and everything like that. When you say you are terrified of Trump and you are scared that he has the ability to quote unquote push the button, and then you're giving him like all that money to do just that, that's a problem. Just like Pelosi. Pelosi is disgusting. I am so glad that people are starting to see that she's just abhorrent, and she's just entitled and cares about absolutely no one but herself. That's another thing that has just grossed me out. Elizabeth Warren was asked, just like Pelosi. Pelosi was asked, is Donald Trump racist? And she said, well, he says racist things. What the hell's the damn difference? He's a racist. He's a racist. So that was Pelosi. Then the next day they asked Elizabeth Warren. She did the same bullshit, same exact thing. And she's like, well, voice shaking and stuff. Well, couldn't say the words, Trump is racist. Why? Why can't you say that? You have no backbone. Why are you capitulating to his disgusting behavior and rhetoric? You seriously cannot say the words Trump is a racist? I'm not going to vote for someone who is that weak. If you watch Warren in interviews, she is so nervous all the time. It actually makes me uncomfortable to watch her, the way her voice quivers and things like that. And if you can't stand up to someone who bullied you to the point where you just look like a totally huge ass and capitulated to him by doing a DNA test and looking like a damn fool, and you can't call him a racist, that's bad. So yeah, the fact that they can't even stand up to this person who they supposedly hate 24/7, that's a problem. Also something that has been bothering me tremendously, as I'm sure you guys as well, Pelosi will not stick up for these women in Congress who are literally getting death threats. She's actually, in, what's the word? Not enhancing, but she's adding fuel to the fire, lack of a better term. By not defending them and actually behaving like a petulant child, having a temper tantrum by going back and forth with them and telling them, you shouldn't say things like this, and a glass of water could have won your race, and you're whatever you are. But go back to January when she prances around everywhere with them on her arm. Oh, we're so diverse now, and we have the first immigrant, and we have people of color, but then that wore off, and then it wasn't okay anymore. Now she's cool with attacking them. She is racist. Too many people don't want to say that. She is racist. 100%. Yeah, Warren makes my skin crawl too. Speaking of my skin crawl, I don't know if you guys saw, but all the rage on Twitter is Miss Zerlina, Maxwell, who I just love. She's a Neera Tanden, let's bully all Bernie supporters, let's make up lies and then not renege them once I'm proven wrong. She is just so gross. And she goes on MSN all the time and just attacks us with complete smears. So anyway, she goes on MSN yesterday with this woman who's supposedly a journalist. Never heard of her, but And she certainly had no skills as such. But she's worth like $8 million. Somebody Googled it. But anyway, she goes on the air with Zerlina, and she says, Bernie makes my skin crawl, and then starts saying all this stuff about him. The problem was, I mean, you don't have to like Bernie. That I really don't care. I don't. That's your choice. You don't have to like him. But when you start lying about him, that's when I get pissed. When you start distorting his record and start, generalizing his supporters and calling us fans, calling us Bernie bros, saying he's never done anything to help women when he by far has the longest list of any candidate running. It infuriates me because I can criticize him. I have no problem doing that. I have a million times. But when someone comes out and makes up lies and stuff like that, then she was like, I'm taking some time away from Twitter because, I'm getting bullied and stuff. And that was last night, and she came back this morning. So it was, this whole like grandstanding, like, I'm leaving Twitter. Oh, wait, I'll be back in the morning. Now, sometimes I'll admit, sometimes burners, and I get it because we get shit on all the time, but sometimes burners do take it too far. They do say, fuck you, you stupid bitch, you slut, you whore, things like that. We can't do that shit. It's all they do is screenshot that shit and it comes back on us because we do it to them. I know that much. So, it takes one or two comments and it just kind of screws with the whole thread at that point. But yeah, I mean, they were just being disgusting, and they are, I don't know if you guys know who Bri Joy is. She's Bernie's press secretary. She's incredible. She's brilliant, young, beautiful Black woman who has been a Bernie supporter since day one. And they hate her. They absolutely hate her because she's Black and she supports Bernie. So they just go at her. They go at Miss Nina too all the time. So it makes us really defensive about them as well because they're family and they bust their ass hard for our movement and they get attacked as well. So the main people who were jumping in on these attacks are women who just are men haters. They just literally hate men, period. That's like all it comes down to. They hate men. You cannot be pro women if you do not have a vagina. It's literally that simple. It's really gross because these are the women who use the words misogynist and sexist. They overuse those words to the point that they just lose their meaning. Anytime you criticize Hillary, we're sexist. Anytime Kamala, Warren, we're all sexist. Even as a woman, I'm sexist all the time. And it's just ridiculous. Every time we critique someone, it's an attack. You really learn a lot about society from social media. It's actually kind of scary, but at the same time, you also meet some really beautiful people. So it all comes together, I suppose. Oh, so here's another gem. So Shank Uber or Unger, he's a total tool, and I haven't listened to him in years because WikiLeaks showed that they donated like over $1 million to Hillary, and so they can bite me. But so he posts a tweet that says, you guys got to stop saying that Warren said that she would take PAC money in the general. She never said that. She said it on his show. Literally on his show. He was there. And he says she never said that. So we're all posting links of her saying just that. It's disgusting. If you have a chance, Google it from TYT Shank's show. I want to say it was last month. It was recent. And she specifically says, in the general, the Republicans are going to be coming at us from all ways. They are going to be taking dark money and PAC money and all of these things, and it's fair game. We will do the same. That is what she said. And I'm actually not even saying it as drastic as it was. It was brash and it was clear. He's trying to say she said something about fundraisers and small donors. She never even says those words. So he's, you know, Emma Vingland or Vineland, whatever her name is, she's the same way. They just literally, it's to the point, it's not rationalizing, it's legit lying. Like, it's actual lies. And unfortunately, I know you guys are all smart enough and in tune enough that you research when people say these things. You look it up. You say, I want receipts. Not everybody does that. They will share Shank's, little tweet and says, she never said that. Okay, well, yes, she did, actually. So, yeah, Rob makes a good point as well. Warren was a Republican until she was 47 years old. So 2/3 of her life, she was a Republican. Well, she still kind of is, but you know what I mean. She stated that, yes, she did vote for the first Bush. She voted for Reagan. She also stated that she never was politically involved until 47, until she switched parties. So given her age, my question is, you literally did nothing during civil rights. You did nothing during the women's movement. You did nothing in the 70s when everything was anti-war. Like, you literally did nothing during any of these things. That's not something to brag about. So, and then he asked her, were your parents Republican? And she goes, I don't know. We never talked about that. Hold on. You don't know what your parents were registered as? You're kidding me, right? Like, all of us know what the hell our parents are registered as. We might not agree, but we know, like, what party they align with. So she, it's, I don't know if you guys saw, it's a show called The Breakfast Club. And the one host legit said to her, he's like, you're the Rachel Dolezal of Native Americans. And I almost peed. It was beautiful because all she did was stutter. I'm reading comments. Yeah, she just stuttered. That was it. That was pretty much one of the most savage comments I've ever heard of her, but it's true. Yeah, you guys got, oh my God, that whole interview, just, I mean, she literally says, I knew I was Native American because my granddaddy told me I have high cheekbones. Oh my God, I can't. What makes me suspicious? Yeah, I agree with that, Ron. Totally. So, oh yes, okay, so Stephanie Kelton, I'm just kind of going with the comments. Stephanie Kelton, who, we all like love and support and talk about on Real Progressives, she is back as Bernie's chief economic advisor again, which we were all kind of praying for because she did tweet the one day that said, well, okay, I admit I am working for a campaign, but I won't say who. And I'm like, oh, hell no. If she's with Warren, like, I'm done. I am so done. Um, but no, she's with Bernie again. So this is cool. She did a great job last time. So, maybe more people will learn MMT, and also I hope to have Pavlina in there somewhere. She'd be amazing, especially on FJG. Um, Let me see what else we got here. Oh, so another thing that, yes, registering voters, absolutely. This is something that's going to take a lot because, understandably so, people are very disenfranchised. They don't want to. They don't want to vote. They just don't want to, and I don't blame them. We also have to be very cognizant of the fact that we still have, I believe, 13 close primary states. I'm in Pennsylvania, so I'm one of them. We have to make very sure that if you're voting Bernie or Tulsi, you better go Dem. I know it feels dirty, but that's what you're going to have to do. I know a lot of, oh yes, I'm familiar with Derek. Um, I'm sorry, I lost focus. Oh yes, get out the vote. Absolutely. So some of the people are saying that I won't register Dem, even though I want to vote for Bernie and I support him strongly. Here's the problem with that. You're willing to give up someone who has been fighting for us for decades, someone who actually has the history and the actual cojones and the actual strategic advice to accomplish these things he's talking about. He can actually implement these things. He's working on these things. He's introduced legislation to these things. And you are willing to sacrifice that because you can't go online and check a different box. It's selfish. Because I protested the DNC for 6 damn days at the convention in over 100-degree heat. I ripped up my voter registration card. I threw it in a casket with upside down donkeys on it that said RIP democracy. I was done. I marched 8 miles a day in that shit and screamed till my voice was hoarse. I mean, it destroyed me. But I re-registered so I could vote for my man. I'm not taking that chance. It's, one of the reasons we support Bernie is because of the fact that his policies help humanity. Sitting and having a hissy fit that you don't want to register a certain way is not helping humanity. This isn't like we will need every single freaking vote. Every vote. I'm going to Milwaukee. You can bet it. I'm going. Absolutely. Regardless. Absolutely. Stephen was asking if I would be going to Milwaukee for the next convention, and you better believe I'm already planning to go, because even if, like, regardless of what happens, I'm gonna go because they're shady as hell. I don't have to wait to know what's gonna happen. I mean, they're already shady as hell. Oh, you're going, Andy? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, we need like big numbers. When I went in 2016, there were about 20,000 of us. And mind you, not all of them were Bernie supporters. Some of them were just really, really disgusted by the death of democracy and the fact that they were cheating and nothing was being done about it. So it's really not even about a candidate. It's the fact that they are stealing our votes. and focusing on Russia, 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 when they should be focusing on the DNC. So yeah, Minneapolis, Minnesota, you're right on. So yeah, I'm there. Absolutely. So definitely register people to vote. That is so important. And tell them they can go back. Like, I'm a very proud independent. I will go back literally the day after I vote, but I'm not letting anything stand in my way to, to vote for him. I'm just not. We need every single vote. Like, this is crucial because they will pull shit again. They will. So let's have as many votes as possible. So if and when they do screw us, there's more work they have to do, because we can't now, as far as there's 25 candidates in right now. So as of now, let's say we go to Iowa. Let's just be presumptuous. We go to Iowa, there's 25 candidates. I sure as hell hope not, but it's feasible. The person who will win Iowa will need at least 15% of the vote. That's a lot. It may not sound like a lot, but with 25 people, it's a lot. Nobody will get a single delegate unless they make at least 15%. That's a scary thought, because, I mean, what if you just get 40%? What if 14% rather? It could very well screw us. Just the fact that we have a little less than 15% or what have you. It's daunting. I'm looking forward to hopefully some people dropping out. There's a few people who didn't make the first or second debate. Why aren't they just like automatically disqualified? It's pathetic. So I hope that time comes. In Iowa, we are doing really, really well. We have, I think, well, I know in California, we have over 45,000 volunteers alone, just in California. We have over 1 million volunteers, period. That is insane. That's a world record. Over 1 million volunteers. We have thousands in Iowa alone. And I had the guy on who is the Iowa campaign manager. He was last time as well, Pete. He's incredible, and he does a great job. So hopefully, this time we can rock things, but it's going to be up to us. We can't sit on our ass. It's not going to be coulda, woulda, shoulda. Like, this is our last chance. If we don't get a real progressive elected this time, we went through Trump for nothing, because we, as bad as Trump is, we escaped Hillary, which is a victory in that regard. So we did it all for nothing unless we, get a progressive elected. Anything else will be business as usual, back to brunch. Nothing will ever change. So we have to do everything we can. I'm just scanning the comments. So yeah, I'm not gonna keep you guys longer. I just wanted, since I was already going live, I wanted to just do a show anyway. Yeah, Mike Gravel is literally starting petitions to have Delaney drop out, and it's honestly one of the funniest damn things I've ever seen. He is trolling him every day, and it's awesome. They are terrified of Gravel. Terrified. And they should be. So, yeah, I mean, that would be, oh my God, that would be so amazing. But here's the problem. He met the monetary requirement. However, when it got down to the polls, they have to go beyond 1% in at least 3 polls. Problem is, his name is never on any polls, like ever. And so anytime you see his name on a poll, share it, tweet it, share it on Facebook, do whatever, email it to your friends so that, you know, we can hopefully get him, because it's just not working. So because even if he gets up there and goes toe to, like, there are 2 candidates he has never put down to date, and those 2 candidates are Bernie and Tulsi. So he wrote an article that states that would be his dream team. So I'm like, okay, go. He's ripped everyone else. He's ripped Beto, Buttigieg, Biden all the time, Kamala. He rips everyone else, and he has, no qualms. Dude's 89 years old. He doesn't give a fuck anymore. Oh, okay. So Cheryl, what do you think about this? I know Shahid. He follows me on Twitter. So there's also a woman running against Palooza as well. Now, what do you think if I invite both of them on to debate about, like, their platform and why they're running against Palooza, and, like, to just have them debate to see who's stronger to take her on? Because I do fear in that race, the votes will be divided. You're going to have 2 progressives running. You're going to have one's a woman, one's a person of color, things like that. It's going to be, I think, identity politics will come into it. I fear that the vote will be completely split. Why does everyone think a VP has to be chosen from those running in the... No, I know, Mark. I've said the same thing. Mark wants to know why people think a VP needs to be chosen from the primaries. And, I agree. I mean, my dream team is burn and turn 2020. I'm Miss Nina. Yo, Bernie and Nina, please. Our country would be awesome. Oh, and then we need Cardi B for speaker, because I don't know if you guys saw Cardi's new video, but Bernie, and she endorsed Bernie again, and Bernie and her actually talked on the phone, which is hilarious, and he'll, like, retweet her and be like, thank you, Cardi B. Cardi B. But she made a little video yesterday, and it was just incredible. She goes, y'all motherfuckers want free college? I know. Y'all motherfuckers, we need the healthcare. We need free healthcare. And she's just like, everything's like mother effer. And Nina shared it, and she's like, oh, there it is. And I just lost it, because she's a very strong Christian and she never curses. So the fact that she shared it just made me so happy. Because Nina does not take any shit at all. And that's what we need. She is badass. And if you want to see, the last time I saw her, I met her 4 times, and the last time was in Pittsburgh for a rally 2 months ago. And I said, Miss Nina. She came over, and I said, I just want to let you know I'm burn and turn 2020. And she goes, burn and turn? I said, yep, burn and turn 2020. Let him know. And she goes, oh, okay. She is a powerhouse. She gets people hype. So anyway, I digress again. So in any case, see, that's the thing. She has so much love. She is strong. She is passionate. I mean, I've seen her 4 times, and I will never not cry. when I see her. It's just her energy. She inspires me. Um, she's I met her husband and I said, you know, I'm a heathen, but your wife takes my ass to church. And he cracked up, but I was like, I'm kind of serious. Um, and Sam, you're 100% right, because with 25 candidates, you can bet that there's going to be way more than one which ends up at the convention. There's not going to be one or two. There's going to be way more than that. We could have a convention that there are literally 8 or 9, people, vying for the nomination. That is completely feasible. And we're going to get fucked. If that's what happens, we will absolutely be fucked. So that's what they're trying for. Difference is this time we know a lot more about their tricks and strategy and things than we did in 2016. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Again, I apologize about Roe. I will definitely let you know as soon as possible when he's rescheduling. Sam, I am burning your bust. I will write him in again if I have to. So yes, damn right, burn your bust. So yeah, I mean, I'm bummed about Roe, but Thursday, the day after tomorrow, I'm having Lee Carter, who is incredible. I've been trying to reach his people for literally, like, as embarrassing as it is, like a few months. But I could tell their messages weren't even being seen because they weren't following me, so they didn't even see the messages. So I was like, well, I give up on this. But his campaign manager hit me up last night, and Lee will be on Thursday. Lee is a Democratic Socialist, like legit Democratic Socialist, not just a label, but he's actually kind of more of a socialist. But anyway, he's a rep in Virginia, and he actually drives an Uber to subsist on, because he can't even live on his rep salary, which I find very interesting. But he also is savage as hell because, a rep was trying to come at him the other day and he said, you can literally eat my entire ass. And I'm thinking, a rep just said that on Twitter. That's amazing. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it, definitely. So thank you guys so much for watching. Join us Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern. I have some really great candidates coming up. So thank you guys so much, and much love.